Look at that. Yeah.
Hey, there's Rich Moore.
Hey, kids.
Hi, what's up? What's up, homie?
Not a
Hey,
lot.
Rich.
Hey,
Just trying. David's just trying to figure out about going live on the YouTube channel, on our YouTube channel.
What's that?
Hey, Matt Haas, what's up?
Not much. Thought I'd check in. I cannot stay the whole time.
Okay, no
But
problem. That means you got to go first.
I want to see my awesome peeps.
If you got to leave first, you got to go first.
I've been streaming so much, I don't know which way is up.
Oh man, really? Good for
I've
you.
been on other people's streams. I've been hosting people's streams in their absence. I've done all kinds of miscellaneous stuff.
I did hear you say that because you hosted Tallboy's stream and then you were in Ecamm Meet the Fam, of course. So if you guys did not hear Matt Haas's interview with Katie on Meet the Fam, definitely do that. Yeah. And then what else have you been up to, Matt?
I've been making edited videos as well. I did a video on, what was it? How to replace the battery of a 10-year-old MacBook Air. Obviously, that's not for everyone, but I hope it's like an evergreen type of thing because now's the time to do that to those old Macs, just having fun.
All right, good for you, Matt. I mean, you are true to your name, awesome, fun things. Well, to one of your channels, you have multiple, but it is always awesome and fun. I like watching your shows to get that little bit of like energy and silliness and playfulness. Yeah, usually I'm making coffee or breakfast or something while you're talking on the live stream.
No wrong way to watch my show. Watch as much as you can or, whenever you can. It's all good either way. I'll take every click, every watch time, whenever you can. It's all good either way. I'll take every click, oh,
Uh-oh.
I'm feeding back, I think.
Yeah. But looks like you took care of it. It's gone now. Whatever it was. All right. Welcome. It is August, and I don't know about any of you, but today I was like, oh no, it's August because school starts for me the Tuesday after Labor Day. I'm back to school, so I'm kind of in a bit of a panic mode myself here, but I know it's really good that we're having a conversation about opening activities, starter activities, launching sessions. So that's our plan for today. I came prepared with the way that I start my classes, and I wanted us to share whether that's maybe how you start a live stream, how you start a course, how you start a presentation, how you start a session, any of those things. And if we could all contribute a great idea, we can start to build a library of those things, and not to make it too formal, but just so that we have a place to track some of these things. I wanted to share with you the link to a Miro board. And for today, the opening activities, you can just grab a sticky, title your activity, give it as much or as little the description, or even a link that you might have that would go on here. So I'll put that in our Zoom chat, and just want to say hi and welcome to anybody on the live stream or watching the replay. I know this time does not work for everybody and their time zones, but hopefully you can get some value from us listening to these activities. So a quick recap of Miro. I've posted the link in the chat. You should all be able to come on in and join because I know I've shared this one with you guys before, so there shouldn't be any restrictions or issues if you're able to open that up. And I see some of you guys coming in already. Miro is basically an online collaborative whiteboard with mega features, but thinking of it just as a simple whiteboard with stickies, I made this section for today, titling it Opening Activities. You can double click on a sticky and then come up to this little fill color and change the color if you like. So let's just say I make this one purple. And so you can keep it the color that it is if you like, or change it. This is totally up to you. But anytime throughout our session today, even after you talk, if you share your activity or have an idea, or even a possible idea, pop in what your activity is here, and then this way we can all have it, and I will make a document out of this that we can post in our resources so that it's there in a visible format too. But I also wanted to show you Miro. I know we've talked about it before, but it's fun and it's interactive, and the possibilities are literally endless. I'm barely scratching the surface of what this tool is capable of. So just an FYI, that's how we'll that's how we'll talk through our activities. So
What's a formal activity example?
formal
Anything we
doesn't have
talk
to be
about?
formal. Yes,
How-
any way that you start. So the idea for today is how do we kick off things, whether that's a class or a presentation or a live stream or a session. That first thing that we do to capture attention, to get people ready and on the go. A lot of times people talk about an unofficial start. So that could also be a launching activity as well. So you know how when you're starting a workshop and some people are running late. But I love to start on time no matter who's there or not. So what I'll do is I'll have this little activity plan on the side that we can do. That's, if people miss it, it's not a big deal, but it rewards the people who are there on time and prevents me having to repeat myself later on, say with like important content that people would need to know in the course. So would anybody like to kick us off with their opening activity? And even if it was successful, or even if you learned something or made it more successful the next time. So it's just all about opening activities today.
Hi,
Hey,
I use,
Chris.
yeah, hey, hi. I run a lot of classes for kind of like corporate educators and things, and they're used to Zoom and team meetings where they just sit there listening to some disembodied voice go through 10,000 slides and things. So I always send some pre-stuff out earlier, asking them to put cameras on, and I give them a little fun slide on why cameras are so important, and I put pictures of clouds that look like faces and talk about connections and things like that. So hopefully most people come ready for that. And then as they're coming into the room, I'm talking to people, asking them to put cameras on and really celebrating the people that are. Then we get everybody to stand because everybody's always sat down. We do a little sort of stretch and a movement and what have you. And then I immediately send them into a breakout room with anywhere between 1 to 3 questions, which could be questions about what it is that they've come to learn about, or questions about what they already know about the subject, or questions that might help them to connect to each other and what have you. So it's usually about what they know, what they want to know, and a little bit about each other. And I do that breakout just for 5 minutes, really super quick, before I start with any kind of content delivery at all. And it just gets people used to having their camera on in a small breakout rather than 20 or 30 people. And it shows them that actually no one died from putting their camera on, and it's not actually all that scary.
Wow, Chris. So that's a multi-level activities right from the start. So it sounds high energy, getting people up and moving, getting people connecting and talking. By the way, Chris, I have been watching your videos and they are very engaging. It's really fun.
Thank you.
I like seeing you drawing on these sketch pad behind you. I think, yeah, I think we caught it, but we had some double audio coming in there, but that's all good. But yeah, Chris, so it's been a lot of fun, and you're definitely high energy. Makes me want to be in the hair industry. Be like, do I have to be in the hair industry to come and take your
Not
classes?
at all.
Because
Not
they're
at
a lot
all.
of fun.
No, it's open to everybody. Anybody that wants to join.
Awesome. Okay, good to know. Thank you. So if you could recap that in one sentence, Chris, what's the order of the activities?
The order of the activities is movement and stretching and standing, followed by a breakout room that creates some kind of connection between the group.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. Perfect. It sounds like I like that, right? And I would appreciate that. And like you said, you send out the materials in advance so people know, come ready to have your cameras on rather than a webinar style, I've had the opposite happen where I'm thinking I'm going to connect. I get there and it's a webinar. I'm like, man, what'd I do my hair for? Okay, who wants to share next? An opening activity, starter, launching, unofficial start?
Okay, so nobody's waiting for me to share one. I don't have any because our corporate people run 5 minutes late all the time, no matter what. And I'm like you, if it's going to start at 2 o'clock, it's going to start at 2 o'clock. So I'm here today just to steal ideas.
Okay. So if you don't
I
have
can
an
give you one if you want.
go for it.
I mean, it's not really an activity. I've lost my mouse. Hold on. Where's my mouse? Come back. There you are. It's not an activity. It's more of I'd say a check-in. So I'm going to be teaching a semester-long class this year to rabbinical students. So these are adults who many of them second career, who are going into the business of being clergy. So they're all like, spiritual and stuff like that. So one of the things that I like to do is just ask them, where are they? And what I do is, so there's a Hebrew word called ayeka, which means where are you? This is actually the question that God asks Adam in the garden, right? When was it? Yeah, when he's like trying to hide from God and stuff, and God's like, hey, where are you? So ayeka, but it's kind of like a spiritual where are you, right? And then I give them three options. The first option is the Hebrew word eneni, which means I'm not here. Like I'm totally stressed out. My kid is, struggling in school, and I have to make dinner and and all these different things, right? I'm really, and just letting people name that, like say, I'm really not here today, The second one is aneni, which means I'm questioning, which means I'm here, but I'm kind of thinking about something else in the back of my head. Like you're not going to have my full attention. And then the last one is hineni, which means I'm really, like I'm here, I'm ready. And I don't force people to be completely present. I know that I've been on plenty of calls and classes where I'm not completely present, but I think there's something pretty cool about just naming it and saying it out loud and letting people be reflective of where they are, in this moment of their day. And I find that sometimes that can help people be more present than they would have otherwise.
David, I really like that. And it's even something that I can use in my own classes. And I'll have conversations with students in the beginning of the semester where I ask them, this time of day when we're meeting for our classes, is this your highest energy for the day, your lowest energy for the day? So just so people could understand their energy levels in general. But what I like about this is we don't even have to have the participants answer. It can just be a self-reflection, right? They don't need to call out.
Oh, exactly. No, right. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. You can, right? It may be a check-in of like, let me know 1, 2, A, B, or C, 1, 2, or 3, so I can get a sense as the instructor. But it could also be like you do it, just a silent reflection. Just check in for yourself. But what I like about it is it still has our participants, our students, our audience members processing and thinking and reflecting back, where are they in this moment, which might actually really help get them more engaged to be thinking about how engaged they are, how present they are in this moment. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
You can have, and if you're doing this in Zoom, one of the things I like to do is use emojis. So I say to folks, and you all can do this now if you want, if you click on the react button at the bottom, you'll get both the send with effect and just the kind of vanilla reactions. But I say, all right, if you're really present, give me a thumbs up. All right, if you're really present, give me a thumbs up. If you're questioning, give me a heart. If it's your birthday, give me birthday. I don't know what, but allow people to respond with different emojis so that they can. Then it's they're hearing you. There's something visual, and they're actually doing something also. So, and they don't have to say it out loud, which can be kind of embarrassing sometimes. So,
Absolutely.
I really relate to what Rich is saying, because a lot of my people that come on, they're often corporate people, and they're used to top-down delivery. And you're right, Rich, they always come 5 minutes late, and they always tell me they have another meeting, so they need to leave 5 minutes early too. And but I agree with Tatiana. I think if you wait for people to join, and it started 5 minutes late, the next time they'll come 10 minutes late because it was 5 minutes late anyway. And so I start on time, and just like David said there, I try not to get them engaged, force them to engage, but just the comment box and just calling out a name, type whereabouts in the world you are, what are you having for lunch, is it cocktail or coffees where you are right now, is it popcorn or pastries, that kind of thing. And then people start to type into the comment box because that's a little safer. And then it's just celebrating them and saying, hey, fantastic, David, it's cocktails. So David, what cocktail cocktail are you having? And it just and you just start to create this conversation. And then when the people come who are 5 minutes late, rather than seeing a holding slide or somebody saying we'll just wait for people to join, they see the party's already started and they think, oh shoot, I didn't know it had started. And then
awesome.
the next time they start to come a little earlier. It's about just engaging.
And Tatiana doing what he just said in conjunction with Stream Alive that you were showing last time is awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
And
It really works.
Those are two that I've stolen. That was the first note I wrote down, was the opening activity, and I'm working on getting to Stream Alive. And I'm just curious, how many of you open with some sort of a countdown timer? Somewhere I'm seeing that, no, those are dead, not anymore, nobody cares.
I do, Rich, for my classes because
Yeah.
I'll open up the room early, virtually, right? I'll open it up early. And I've got music playing and I'm visible in that, but I'm like behind the clock. So I still do that because it gives me a minute of reflection. It lets the students know, like, I'm here, we're ready to go. And this is how much time we have left before we get it moving. So I do it for my virtual classes. I know for live streaming, people have different feelings about it. Like, do I use a countdown timer? Do I not? So I'll just open it up if anybody wants to say anything about that specifically.
You know, I'm thinking about the people that I teach, and like, there's one class that I do where I think if I had anything up, music or a timer, it would just be distract. Like, they come in, I just usually have my hold screen on, and they're talking, and they're saying hello and connecting and schmoozing and hanging out and whatever. And then when it's time to start, then I turn my camera on, I pop it, and we go. I think if I did anything else, if I made it any more formal than that it would sort of get in the way. But there are other classes where the people would just sit there silently. And so, in that case, it's probably smart to have something like that.
Yeah. And then Ed made his point in the chat too, that he does not use a countdown timer because he's doing one-on-one coaching with songwriters. So yeah, one-on-one having the countdown timer would be kind of weird. So I totally get that. Ed. And if any of you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about Stream Alive, I did do a demonstration of it, and just send me a message in Discord or an email or a text or any way to communicate with me if you want to see that recording. If you don't, I don't want to just put it out there for everybody, but if you are interested, it's just I did a free show and tell with my friend Saeed demonstrating Stream Alive, which is an interactive tool that you can allow to come into. I know we talked about it before. So you guys made the point. Well, David, I wanted to come back around because you're using graphics. And of course, this is Ecamm for educators, right? So Ecamm allows us to do all of those things, adding in those graphics. And I wanted to share with you, I forget if I've told you guys this before, but here's a way that I'll use it in my class. This is very low pressure, easy for people to say, and it's a this or that activity. So I've made some graphics, and this is for my social media class where, I'm trying to ask people to choose. If you have to choose between Instagram or TikTok, which one's it going to be? If you have to choose between YouTube and LinkedIn, which one's it going to be? How about between audio and video preferences? And just for the record, I do know that this gray stuff does not really work. This one needs a bit of an update.
You know what, by the way, Tatiana, you know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for the day that people, no matter what platform they're on, can actually physically click on those, and then you get a tally, and like, that's what I really want,
Yes. Yeah. And
that would be so cool.
Right. And that's what polls, if even in a tool like Stream Alive, you can do the polls, then that would work. But then we don't have the graphics to be able to do that. So you're always you're always compromising. And we could do informally, are you pro recording videos on demand or more for live streaming? You could go with the yes or no feature, yes or no reaction inside of Zoom, like the little green and white check mark or the red and white. Like Matt, you voted no earlier. So it could go, and then that gives us a tally, but then somebody would have to tally, and it's not quite quick enough to go in a fast progression. But some really, really cool stuff. So I wanted to share this or that, and you can make the graphics inside of something like Canva. And then, bring in the text overlays come in. So there's lots of different fantastic ways that we can use tools like Ecamm to make the visual side more interesting as well. All right, coming over to my regular mode here. And then anybody else have activities they want to share?
I teach ninth and 12th graders. And so actually tomorrow is our first day, and I do an activity called If You Really Know Me. Very open-ended. So if you really know me, you know that I ... I like Batman. I don't like XYZ. And part of that is to have it somewhat open-ended. And I know there's pros and cons to having that open-ended statement, but for the freshmen specifically, they've already gone through a couple of days of new student orientation for the high school. So there's some degree of familiarity. But I use this as an opportunity to also let students know different things about me as well in that process. And I usually do it in small groups, maybe 2 or 3, and then branch out or ask if someone wants to share out their thought process. But that's what I use as one of the opening day activities.
Okay, nice. And that allows for like a more intimate experience with participants, which I really like and appreciate in my classes too. So I like starting off gently and softly and then moving into deeper connection. So that's really great, Darren. And then Marty, did you have something to add before? I think I may have missed when you raised your hand earlier.
Oh no, you were talking about Stream Alive. So I have an activity that I wanted to try Stream Alive with because I saw your show and tell, and I thought, oh, this is so cool. This would really work for one of the openers that I use. Awesome. I work with elementary and middle school kids, and so oftentimes the opening activity is a way to just break the ice and get them to think creatively. And so basically I talk about how when I was a kid, my language arts teacher gave us an assignment. He said, I want you to imagine you've won the lottery, you have $1 million. What would you do to your bedroom? Like, how would you redecorate your bedroom? And I sort of took that idea and just threw it at the kids and said, let's say you won the lottery and you have, and I updated it. I said, you have $1 billion. What are the first 5 things you would buy or do with that money? And I want to see if I can do this. So I'm going to try with Stream Alive right now. We'll see if this works. So I'm going to hit present on this. Great. And then I think I'm hoping I'm going to connect to.
I just let you in.
Okay, great. All right, so I am going to put this up on the screen.
And for everybody else, just as an FYI, what Marty has to do for Stream Alive to come into our session is connect the presentation and the session, and then whoever's the host needs to let the Stream Alive bot into the session. Because the whole thing with Stream Alive is that we participate in the chat. We don't have to go anywhere else. And in order for that to happen, Stream Alive bot has to come into the meeting. So you can see we have one participant now called Stream Alive.
And and everyone should have gotten a message in the chat. Was it just to me or no? It's to everyone.
Nope, everybody.
Yeah, saying that Stream Live is here, which is it's a really nice feature that they do that. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Excellent. All right. So the first thing that I would do if I had $1 billion is I would definitely adopt as many cats as I could find because I'm a huge cat lover. So if you have something that you'd like to do, post in chat. And we'll see. I think I used transient thoughts for this. So we'll see how this sort of flies across the screen. There we go.
Hey, it's working. Yay. Rich is great.
So what I like about this as an opener, especially for your reluctant writers, is that it allows them. I always go with 5 because they sort of have different choices that they can go. And as they're doing it, I give them 5 minutes. And I'll always throw examples, right? So it's like, do you want to do something in terms of going someplace, a concert with your favorite singer, or is there something that you would like to buy? Like if it's a car, tell me what kind of car it is. And what it does is it just gives a nice, safe environment for the kids to brainstorm, because it's something that's like wish fulfillment. And every time I do that kind of writing exercise for the kids, they're always engaged and they always want to share what they've got. And sometimes the challenge is to get them to limit their number of things they want to like 2 or 3 that they're going to share, because as soon as they get a chance to sort of let their imagination go wild, it gives us a chance to see all sorts of cool things that come out. So anyway, that was okay. I like Stream Alive. So that was the first time that I tried that out. So it was kind of cool to try that. So thanks for letting me experiment with that.
The magic of Stream Alive to me, I mean, Tatiana's the pro here, but to me, it's how simple it is. I mean, you just write something in chat. It's such a brilliant implementation of engagement tools. It's just amazing.
It's the closest thing to like tapping the screen, right? Like you don't have to go to a different app. You can stay present and in the meeting, and you're using chat anyway, so it captures whatever is being posted.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just so good. I know I could just keep talking about Stream Alive. But anyway, just a side note, it is free. There is a free Stream Alive account for up to 30 participants. If you have more than 30, then you would need the paid account. And if you are ready to get a paid account, let me know so that I can give you my affiliate link, which gives you 10% off. So and if you ever just want to chat about it or try some things out, it's really fun. And it also, last thing I'll say is that it also has an AI feature. So if you're kind of stuck about what should I ask, you just feed it a topic and an audience, and it comes up with some decent responses for you as well. And it is customizable. Like I'll use it with the green screen in Ecamm, so that it just kind of floats in the screen here with me. So there's lots of ways that you could do it.
So there are a couple of questions. So what this is doing, Ed and Chris, you don't have to retype anything. It's scraping. It's using the API. Actually, I don't know if it's using the API, but Ecamm, for example, is using the Zoom API to scrape the chat. So it's getting the chat messages. That's what allows us to to throw messages up on our screen in Ecamm. So you literally just type in the chat and it'll grab it. What it's not great at, in fact, it's awful at it, is being able to distinguish between answers to a specific question versus just chat messages, right? So, for example, I wrote, someone said, I'd buy a 74 MGB, and I didn't know what that was. So I wrote back as a test. I wanted to see if it would know the difference. What's the 74? And it threw it up as if it were an answer. So but I mean, that's just a limitation of the tool,
Yeah, and when you're leading the activity, you just have to know that whatever gets put in the chat is going to show on the screen. But it does have some features where it'll distinguish. Like it has a feature where it will collect all the questions asked in the session for you, and it does a really good job, even without a question mark added to it. So yes, if if there's any side chat going on, that's also going to come up on your activity. Cool.
Sunny has a question, but can I just say something out loud that I just noticed about Ecamm? It's really interesting. Rich sent a picture in the chat of the car. Pictures do not show up in the Ecamm comments and reactions window.
Interesting.
I wonder if that's intentional or if that's
a glitch.
It's really interesting. I'm going to send that over. Interesting. Okay. Sorry. Dr. Sunny. Sorry.
Hey, Sunny.
Hello. I was going to ask Marty, have you tried the feature for the Stream Alive where when you ask that question, they all appear on screen? Or I noticed that those just kind of came in and just floated away. When I created my Stream Alive, I think I picked the questions that I thought they would kind of like everyone, you would see it. You would see the different answers. They wouldn't disappear. And I was wondering if you tried that one, or maybe that's just a different type where when you ask a question, maybe how they're feeling. And the more people that say they're feeling fine, the bigger the words get. Those are kind of fun to do as well. That's what I noticed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
what
I
I
think that was
used was
wonder
I
words.
used transient thoughts, so they were just sort of flying across the screen.
What's the name?
Uh,
Okay.
right. So I think it's word power or wonder
Wonder
words
words.
Okay.
that creates them and keeps them up. So I would sort of go with that. Or what's the other one, Tatiana? The flying tiles.
Talking tiles.
Talking
Tiles
tiles.
also keeps them, so several of them will stack up like Tetris and then disappear when a new batch comes in. But I think the transient thoughts also depends on the speed with which people enter things. I'd be curious about that. Like if a bunch of people enter something quickly, do they disappear faster, or does it still, like, will it still? So, Marty, do you mind if we test that? Do you still
Yeah,
have
there we
it?
go.
Okay, can everybody just type in something in the chat, anything and then we'll all hit enter on the count of 3. Just like type one word, and then we'll hit enter on 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Okay, I wonder. So we got files coming in. Something in the chat. Batman. Okay, so it does love anything at all. Okay, so it did go. Okay, it's somewhat out of order from our chat, but it looks like it is getting everybody's. And it doesn't go quick. It doesn't go too fast. Okay, that's good to know. Good to know.
Can you set the speed with the images coming up? I thought there was something there.
I think that you can. I'm not sure how much of it. But we can look into that for next time to see some of the more like advanced features. Like, okay, once you figured this out, then we can move it to advanced mode and then all of the settings and possibilities.
I still yet have to officially play it. What the trouble that I had that I explained to Tatiana is one of my classes, you have to register for the class. And then after that, you don't have to register anymore. It wouldn't let my bot in. It wouldn't let the Stream Alive bot in. And you have to apparently bypass the registration, the way people register, and just give the numbers. And
Yes.
I need to test that out to see if that actually will work, because I was a little flustered. My kids were watching me and I was like, I've got this great thing for you today, but it wouldn't come in. So this past Sunday, I didn't even try it because I've been out of town and I didn't have time to play with it. But that is something that, in case you, just like other bots, they may not be able to enter if registration is required.
Right. Right. The link, the straight link to the meeting itself rather than the registration link. Absolutely, Sunny. Glad that you were able to figure that out, though. That's good.
Hey Tatiana, here's I just popped in the chat a link for folks. This is from visionaryteaching.com. Have you guys ever played the turn your camera on if game in Zoom?
I have.
Yeah. So everyone turns their camera off and then you ask different questions and people turn their camera on if, if you've lived in a different country, if you go by a nickname, if you play a musical instrument. It's just a cute, interactive way to get people to learn a little bit more about, if one of the questions is, turn your camera if you love dogs, then everyone who loves dogs, they're going to see each other. Instant potential for a connection there.
Absolutely. And it incentivizes people to turn their camera on rather than being like, can you please turn your camera on? So yes, that's really fun. Thank you, David. I'm putting that in the Miro. Don't forget, everybody, if you want to share, like David, I'm just posting your link in one of the post-its right now. I just put the link to Miro in here so that if you have links to great ideas and activities, or just, documenting your own, if it's bullet points, like Chris's was, movement, exercise, stretching, and then moving into breakout rooms, whatever it is, so that we can have our little library.
Okay, so we're doing this under the open, because this Miro board is a little overwhelming for me. There are just so many little boxes. Are we just doing it under the yellow opening activities thing?
Yes.
Okay.
And so if you go to the section with today's date on it, August 20th, opening activities, you just pick it inside one of these
they're by
stickies.
date.
So on the top,
did
I
not
just put
see that.
our.
Sorry.
We did this one time in April when we launched.
User error. Sorry.
That's okay. I know if you're not familiar with it, it really can be a lot. So just picking a sticky in today's, in today's session. Okay. And again, just if you have a link, great. If not, just a quick description to help us have a little library of ideas, and then we can do a recap and post it as an image inside of our resources. That's the nice thing about Miro too, is you can export the content from it and save it in great ways. Would anybody else like to share a great idea for an opening activity or a launch or a way to start out? Yes, Ed, it is kind of fun to see the cursors when they're moving around inside the window. I'll give you another little peek of that. And the nice thing with it too is if you click on this little plus icon down the bottom, you can add images, you can add there's polling within Miro as well. Like I said, I'm barely scratching the surface, so Miro has so many cool uses, but one of them is that you can add stickers and emojis and fun things to them as well.
Sunny wrote, "Is this you, Sunny? On a scale of 1 to 10, how was your day?" I'd be a little afraid to ask that because if there are some 2s or 3s, I don't know. I would feel bad not checking in with that person, but then I don't want to bring the whole crew down. I don't know.
Sometimes if it's anonymous, Sunny, like maybe it's not attached to the identity of the person, then you get a feel like a temperature check.
Yeah.
Pretty much I do this probably for the last few years, actually. For my kids, they have this little scale, 0 to 2 is this, 0 to 5 is this. And my day was amazing, 9 to 10. They get to pick any day of the week before Sunday when they get there. And they usually have something to say, most of them. And so the class deals with conversation and they have to say it in full sentences. So it works for the little 9 to 13-year-olds. And
oh, yes. For kids, yes.
yeah, and my and the graphic that goes with it, it kind of it's engaging in a way. But
That's lovely.
we'll ask them how they're feeling. They have to pick the emoji, or sometimes they have to pick the cat. I got that from Young Keck a couple of years ago. How are you feeling? And there will either be some type of animal with a grin or crazy look. And kids even adults seem to like to pick which one they are identifying with as they come into the room. But I understand, depending on the group, it might be challenging.
Thanks, Sunny. And let's see. Who else has an idea that they would like to share? Just want to say hello to Dick. I'm not sure that you've ever joined us before. Have you?
No, I have not. That's correct.
Welcome.
Hey, Dick,
welcome.
welcome.
Thank you. No, I'm new with Ecamm and using it. I'm working in the Netherlands remote as a teacher
Someone
for
new
the.
with Ecamm who's already showing up with a fancy scene with the camera and the name new with Ecamm. Come on now.
Very good. Very good.
Well, I have just maybe 3-4 weeks now. But I like Keynote. I use it a lot as for
Same here.
the presentations I give, keynotes I give. Yes. And as a teacher, I found out we use Vitero, it's from a Dutch company, something like Zoom, but it has some possibilities, but I miss a lot. There's no whiteboard I can use. It's made for Microsoft users, so as a Mac user, I cannot really use it. So.
But you could use Miro, the one that I'm showing.
Yes, I use Miro, but more in some brainstorm sessions. So we can put together, ideas to it, even little parts of documents, pictures, flowcharts, etc. And you can build together, and that's what I like from Miro. Yes.
Terrific. What do you teach?
How you call it in English? Is business administration.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a key lecturer for the Master of Business Engineering.
Fabulous.
So that's not technical. I have a technical background, but it's just engineering also for yeah, doctors or even industries. Everybody can join that program, but just building your business, the processes around it. That's one part I do, and I also teach for the bachelor in logistics, everything that has to do with business administration, etc. Yes.
Fabulous. Oh, that's so great. Well, I look forward to connecting with you. I'll find you and we can chat some more. But glad to have you.
I'm the only Dick Wilson in the world, so you will find me quite easily.
Okay, terrific. I'll find you on LinkedIn. We'll start there.
Okay, it's good.
Hey, Tatiana, Mark has his hand up.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, good evening. I was just going to say that one of the main things I do is to make the questions almost impossible not to answer, so that there's a natural progression, whatever that happens to be. So if I'm podcast training, they come in and they're like, "How do I start doing all this sort of thing?" And I just sort of that sort of, what's the latest podcast you listened to? What did you like about it? How did you come across it? Things which don't take much thought to kind of get the conversation going. And once you've got that interaction, then if you've got more than one person, it can expand and that becomes a conversation. Or if it's one-to-one, you can do it that way. And I do the same thing with my music teaching. What did you listen to on the way to school? What's your favorite song this month? Who's your favorite drummer? Whatever it happens to be, but something which just then enables you to get the party started, so to speak. And then from there, you can sort of coerce it and move it around into the more structured lesson or whatever it is that you're going to be taking it onto. But I think once you've got that initial engagement, almost like what's your name, and then going from there, then you're on a sort of a winning start.
Absolutely, Mark. I mean, likes and preferences, not only are they easy with no cognitive load, people enjoy sharing about the things that they like. And it also communicates to our students, to our audience members, that we're interested in the things that they're interested in. And when we can take that to the next level, and also what's really helpful too is, let's say in 2 sessions from now, that song comes up, you think of that person or something relates to them, and then you bring it back to them, or hey, this thing came up and I thought of you. Then that really helps to build that rapport and that genuine connection with our people, whoever they are, whatever their ages are. So that is a fantastic way to launch, to start, and to connect with others. Nicely said, Mark.
Yeah, and I think especially if it's not a right or wrong answer, and that way it frees everybody up then just to have an opinion, and then like you say, just gets it going.
Yes, and also making it safe and comfortable to participate and talk. Right, that it's you're not looking for a right answer, in which case a lot of people might hesitate to answer. But in this case, it's conversation. It's getting to know each other. It's some enjoyable things. And in your case, of course, music is 100% relevant. But even in my public speaking class, I'm not teaching music, but I ask them who their favorite artists are, favorite songwriters, favorite song, because we'll use the structure of a song to show, hey, it's a lot like a speech. And they have a very short amount of time to communicate content. And there's usually storytelling involved. So the lesson is like, what can we learn from musicians as speakers, kind of a thing. So there's lots of great ways. I mean, I'm all for incorporating music in lots of creative ways, but thanks, Mark. Who else has some starter ideas they want to communicate?
I can bring up is telling about storytelling, and that's also a part. If you bring mostly a story of yourself, what I do when I start my lessons for the first time, so they follow 6 or 8 lessons, and then first I tell about myself, who I am. I show them, in keynote, some pictures, what I've done in the past and what they can expect from me. and that's also a good start, so they know what they can ask you, what you can know on forehand. Else they think, okay, does he know it or does he not know it, and then they keep quiet. So I try to help them to tell them about myself first, and then ask them, okay, introduce yourself, and then everybody knows about who they are. Like we are here with I saw about 13 people. Then you know from everybody a little story. I hear now also little stories about one likes music, other likes storytelling, other like picture graphics, etc., etc. And then you know, okay, I can combine with someone in that category.
Absolutely. Yep. Building that common ground is a
Yes.
really great part of our teaching, our classes, 100%. And I'll say it again, it just makes it so much more enjoyable to be in our classrooms when we can build those kinds of connections. I'll share, mine's a multi-step combination of things. And there's a woman named Jennifer Gonzalez who teaches mostly K through 12, but has a platform called Cult of Pedagogy. And she's also taught as an adjunct professor. So I first started exploring active learning through her content. And she posted an activity called Crumple and Shoot. And then I was also looking for a way to make my syllabus review session less of like a attorney meeting reviewing a contract, and wanted to make it a bit more fun. So everybody knows that most students don't read the syllabus, right? Because a lot of them are long and cold. So what I did was make it more of a game. And on the first day of class, I divide my class up into teams. And I let them know, hey, we're going to do a syllabus quiz game based on content that I put in the syllabus that I hope you read, knowing full well that most people did not read it. And then I'll do multiple choice trivia, and it can be done just via Keynote. It can be done via any gaming platform that you want, where you can ask questions. And, you know, if you're in Ecamm, there's a way to do the trivia too, but it doesn't tally answers. So using the polling feature within Zoom is another great way to do it, or using other tools. But if I'm physically in the classroom with my students, I'm just using a Keynote presentation to ask the questions, or, you know, it could be projected on any slide design. Then it releases a little bit of the pressure, because I'm not asking them as individuals, I'm asking them as teams. So they have time to come up with an answer as a team as well. I'll give everybody a few seconds to come up with the decision, and then everybody gets sheets of paper for the same number of questions. Like if I'm going to ask them 12 questions, every team gets 12 sheets of paper. And if they get an answer correct, they crumble up their little sheet of paper. So at the end of all of the questions, you get a pile of questions. And most of them are serious. I'll throw in a couple funny ones in there too, just to keep the mood light. So let's say all the teams, now it's the end, and one team has 5 correct answers. They have 5 crumbled up pieces of paper. The other team has 7 or 2 or however many. Then, because I like Chris's idea to get people moving, physical, get their bodies involved in things, I think that just changes the energy. My classes are 3 hours long, so I need them to be re-energized. And of course, we get breaks. So the next step is they get a point for each correct answer, but then their little crumbled up sheets of paper, I bring in small baskets, and they each have to take turns shooting their correct answers, their crumpled up sheets, into a little basket. So it's almost like playing mini basketball. And this part is hilarious. First of all, some people are like so embarrassed. Some people get so into it. Some people are like trying to slam dunk these little tiny sheets of paper, but everybody has a great time. And then they get more points. If they into the bigger basket, they get 1 point. If they make it into the smaller basket, they get 3 points. So it's a 3-pointer or a 1-pointer, like in basketball. And then the team who gets the most points, they get some candy as their prize. And so I'm meeting my objectives of, we're reviewing the syllabus, which is kind of dull. I don't want to go through it line by line, this and that. So I picked the 12 most important points I want them to remember. We review it as a syllabus quiz game, and then they get extra points for getting up out of their seats, dunking some tiny paper crumbles into a thing, re-energized, and It works really well. And that this way they get to see and have an expectation of what the semester in class will be like. I'm going to ask some serious questions. We're going to have some fun. You're going to get involved. You've got to participate, kind of a thing. And I think that's one of my favorite ways to launch the semester is by doing an activity like that. So I wanted to share my favorite launching activity with you guys for my classes.
I love that.
So fun. What I haven't been able to come up with is a way to replicate that in my virtual classes. Obviously, I can get the correct answers, but I'm about to go to ChatGPT and ask it, can you make me a very simple basketball hoop game? Like I just, they can have however many correct answers they got. That's how many tries they get online. I've been looking for just a simple basketball hoop game that's free, and I have not been able to find it. So if any of you know of any way that I can recreate this in an online space, please, I would love to know.
Question: Do they have cameras where they can show it how they throw? Because everybody does have a mug.
That's true. Ooh, perfect. You're right. Hey, for class, just grab any round object and you have to show on camera. That's a great
Right.
idea. Look, problem solved. This is great. This is why I love these meetings. Look at you on the first day already contributing great ideas. Thank you so much. That's perfect, Dick. I will take that for sure. That's a great way to do it. And then what I like too is that it's not digital, because our just in a virtual class, everything is digital already. So this makes it physical, analog, something that we can do, and it'll probably make it even people will pay more attention because they want to know the anticipation of will they make the shot or not. Nice. I like that. Thank you. Very good. So awesome.
Tatiana, we have a question from Ed in the chat, which isn't about opening activities, but it's a great question. Do you mind if we jump into it?
Yeah,
real quick?
Absolutely. Take it away.
Ed,
Take
do you
it
want to
away.
go ahead and ask this out loud for us? Oh, Ed's off screen right now. Sorry. I want to make sure he's here when we ask it. Maybe we should wait for a second. I don't
Okay.
know. Chris was asking about how I'm doing this. Wait, who, what, where?
I think that's Ed is back.
Oh,
We can't
Ed, are you
see
here?
you. We can't see your camera, Ed, but I saw you unmuting.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, as long as he's here to hear. So his question is, lots of folks using Shure microphones. He has the Shure MV7 Plus. It's fantastic. He's having trouble positioning his mic since he uses an overhead shot playing the keyboard. The mic seems to work best if it's close to my mouth, which unfortunately blocks my keyboard and overhead shots. Any thoughts on that, folks? Anyone have any insights?
I'm not an audio expert myself. However, I do prefer the microphone out of the shot, but you're 100% right. You move it out of the shot and it does not sound as good. And
I mean, here, go ahead. I'm sorry, Chris.
Sorry. I move around a lot. I have my microphone out of shot, but I move around a lot, writing on things behind me. But I just use a lavalier, a Rode wireless lavalier, really, and it's not as good as these mics, but it's pretty good.
I love that, Chris. The lavalier in the U.S. is known as the lavalier mic.
Oh,
Just for
put a
clarification.
little flair on it.
The lavalier.
That's it. Accents.
So if you want to have your mic out of shot, then you're unfortunately dealing with physics. And physics are that when the farther the capsule is away from your mouth, the more room noise you're going to have, and the lower your. So I can move my mic over here out of shot, and you could probably still hear me, but I'm imagining that there's a lot more room noise, and it's certainly probably not as clear.
Right.
I do have my eyes on probably the one mic that I would use out of shot, and that is it's a Sennheiser MKH 416, and The only problem is it's $1,000 microphone, and that's just not in my budget right now. But this is sort of the Sennheiser's MKH series is from what the little that I know, it's
Is it a shotgun mic, David?
yeah, it's a shut here. Sorry, I'll blow it up a little bit. It's this. There are a few different versions. This particular was it's just a shotgun. There's also a pencil version of it, but I mean, this is it's just a monster microphone. And this one you could put kind of right out of shot, right above your head, pointing down at your chest. But yeah, these, and, Rode has these shotguns, but I don't know. I have a couple here. They're just not great yet. I feel like the Sennheiser one. Oh, Ed, we were just getting some slap back. Sorry about that. Yes, Tom Buck uses a Sennheiser, I believe. So yeah, but having it positioned for a keyboard, I mean, what I'm using is this low profile arm. I don't know how I can really show this to you, unfortunately. And so I have it mounted to the right side of my desk, and I don't have it right in front of me. So this actually could be helpful, Ed. I don't have it right in front of me. I was taught the other day that you should keep the mic out of this zone. Just, I don't really know why, but like keep it out of this zone. So I now keep it just off to the right of me. And if I had a top-down shot, I mean, it would definitely be in the way of, when I got into some of the higher keys, but I could definitely, you could definitely see the keyboard.
I'm also wondering, Ed, if you could talk to David Hunt with an E at the end, Hunte, because he is also a musician. He sings and plays the piano, and he does live streams. So I'm just wondering if he might have insight for you.
Can we troubleshoot where that slapback is coming from? Because it's coming from somewhere.
It's coming from when Ed unmutes. It happens, and Ed, we
well, no,
can't
because
hear
Ed is
you.
unmuted now,
Which
and
he
we're
just
not getting it.
Oh, okay.
I wonder what's going on there.
I thought it was when Ed unmuted, but Ed, for some reason, we can't hear you. I see your lips are moving, but can't hear you.
Are you, Ed, give me a thumbs up. Are you in Ecamm for Zoom or just in vanilla Zoom? Okay, a thumbs up doesn't really help with that, does it? Are you in? So now, whatever you're doing now, you're allowing us to hear ourselves back to us, but not you. Give me a thumbs up if you're in Ecamm for Zoom. You are. Okay. So you joined this meeting through Ecamm for Zoom. Have you changed any of your audio settings in are you just using what they ship in the box for Ecamm, for Ecamm settings? You haven't changed any of the Ecamm for Zoom audio settings, right? He's typing in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about those settings. Yeah.
It can also be that the microphone is close to the speaker.
No, he said he doesn't have an open speaker.
Okay.
For what it's worth, while he's troubleshooting, if you're using Ecamm for Zoom, 99% of the folks should never touch the audio settings. You should just let Ecamm handle it. They're doing everything for you. And the only thing you need to ensure is that the out from Zoom, your speaker from Zoom, is going wherever you want it to go, whether it's to your earbuds or wherever. Yeah. So now we're getting slapback again, Ed. Do me a favor, Ed, mute yourself just for a sec. Okay, now you're muted. Now we're missing it. So, yeah, we're definitely getting some feedback from you. That's really interesting. Not feedback, some slapback from you. Check your speaker in Zoom, Ed. Go down to the little caret next to the microphone and see where your speaker is from Zoom. And Mark is saying, back to the piano question, David has his camera facing across the keyboard, right to left, just at keyboard level. That's interesting. So he doesn't do a top-down shot. Oh, is this a picture of? Oh yeah, look at that.
Okay, gotcha.
Here is, I don't know why there's a big bird on my screen. Here's the look that David does. So this is nice to see someone playing. I'm not sure it would help for teaching, because for teaching you actually want to see,
Down.
the overhead shot. Absolutely, yeah. And Ed just wrote that in the chat. I agree. Yeah, that is a nice shot though that David is doing.
But I wonder if David teaches also, and maybe he's got a different setup when he teaches. I think he could. I think he could help you, and he's also very, very nice. Just remember, it's Hunt with an E at the end. David Hunt in the Ecamm community. So, yeah, good, Ed. Definitely.
It's awesome.
Tell him I sent you.
David, isn't he in one of your Ecamm for churches or Ecamm for spiritual? I thought I came to one of those classes once and I saw David there.
Oh yeah,
David
the
Hunt.
faith.
Yeah, I think he was.
Mhm.
Yeah, faith in Ecamm,
Faith
which
in
we've
Ecamm.
we've kind of merged into this group now. So, yeah.
Yeah, another one from Ecamm I met was Daniel Chi.
Yes.
He knows also a lot about all kind of hardware, how to use. He tested, so he can also advise, I think, about what to use. Last week I did see something he had about the headphones with microphone. The Shure microphones, other kind of microphones.
How many of you were able to attend his free live remote producing courses last week? I was there. Great. A lot of us were there. Rich was there. Darren, Sunny. Mark, was your hand raised too? Yeah. Like most of us, I think, were there, which is really good. Yeah, very good. Fantastic. So we're all learning from him. Yeah, Daniel is very knowledgeable too. So I think between, and because he's done live remote producing, I think that between David and Daniel, you will be able to get what you need, Ed, for sure. Awesome.
Also, just one other question that was asked. I think it was Chris. Chris was asking about
Yes.
about this view. By the way, Ed, I just want to come back. If you want to find some time tomorrow to jump on a call with me, I'm happy to help troubleshoot that with you. You can just, to try and troubleshoot your what do you call that? Audio. Thank you.
Thanks,
Sorry.
David. Appreciate you helping him with that.
.com/Ecamm. I don't even know what my link is. I think it's Ecamm. Is it Ecamm? Oh no, it's Ecamm Fam. Ignore that. Sorry. techguy.com/ecammfam. There it is. If you want to book a time. Yeah, this is just this. We've talked about this before. This is a program called Tiles. A business called Liminal Entertainment Technologies was purchased by Zoom. They now work at Zoom, and they put out Zoom OSC and Zoom ISO and a whole bunch of other tools. Tiles is one of their latest. It allows you to create dynamic and customized gallery scenes or feeds. And so I'm in the beta and I'm just testing it out, and it's pretty cool. I'll tell you that eventually this will come to Ecamm, something like this. I feel very certain of that. The one thing that is really missing from this and from Ecamm right now is something that just came out in one of their other tools. It's called Unique Speaker. Right now we have Active Speaker, right? So I could, if I added an Active Speaker camera, I would be able to grab the Active Speaker. But let's say I have a scene with Tatiana in it, who's my main speaker, and then I want to bring up the person asking a question. So I would put another camera next to it in Ecamm called Active Speaker. Problem is, whenever Tatiana spoke, she would also show up in the Active Speaker one. So Unique Speaker lets you say, I would like anyone who speaks except for Tatiana to show up in this camera. So we're waiting for that, but being able to have like customized galleries, I think, is something that will eventually come to Ecamm also.
Absolutely. I know I've seen people in OBS world doing it where they can put themselves in the middle, a little bit bigger, and then everybody in the Zoom meeting, or a certain number of people all around them. So I am also waiting for those things because
Yeah,
they
so
do look really cool.
that actually is done by a gentleman. Oh goodness gracious,
Philippe Nardi is the one
Philippe,
I've
yes,
seen use it.
and he's not using this. He built his own tool to do that, and it's unbelievable. And yes, everyone wants to copy him because it's just fantastic, the work that he's
Yeah,
done.
it looks really good. I also want to put 2 links in the comments for some free overlays, free and paid. But you guys probably know Anna Infulgence. This is their Gumroad site, and they've listed. They have paid ones, but they're also sharing some free stuff. And then Martin McKenna. I'm just trying to remember what his link is. Does anybody remember? I think it's Streamer Profiles Selfie Store. Yes, it is. So let me get this for you guys, because Martin McKenna, who's also in the Ecamm community, has made a bunch of free stuff available. He also has paid ones, which I have bought as well. Just wanted to share those 2 features those 2 links for you in case you're interested in getting some more. I can't show them to you because one of the limitations of being in Ecamm for Zoom is I cannot switch profiles, and I did not bring those profiles into my current profile. So once you're in a profile, you're locked in if you use Ecamm for Zoom. And so, but I wanted to make sure you guys knew this really cool stuff that people are creating in the community. And also wanted to ask you guys, what would be helpful for you? Any ideas of what you'd like to talk about next month for our September session, heading into the, at least it's the fall for us here in the US. What topics are you guys interested in us exploring next time? Is it over? I'll throw out some ideas as you guys think, and then let me know if there are other things. But it can be addressing audio issues. It can be overlays. Adding overlays and visuals and graphics and sounds and things into Ecamm. Is it something else? Does it? And I also wanted to let you know too that David and I don't have to lead every session. If any of you ever want to lead part of the session, the whole session, just let us know. We're more than happy to have you guys also be the leaders and be the educators, be the instructions on different things, right? So just let us know. Talk with either one of us if there's a topic or a month that you want to, and it doesn't have to be the whole session if you don't want. It could be a part of the session, but we want this to be a collaboration among all of us as well. So just popping that out there so you guys can think about that. So back to the first question. Any thoughts or ideas for what you'd like to talk about next time? Let's see, Sunny, you have a question. Are the CNVS, the canvas stick figures I used today, from the people area? They are from Lucy Agolini's CNVS, which I'll just grab that link for everybody again. I think it's getcnvs.design.
Question I had, I didn't want to buy her whole pack, and she has separate ones, and it's kind of said if you're going to get one, people is the one. So you're this or that. I like when you use those. I was wondering if I bought the people pack, if the people, the stick figures you use today are from that person area.
I don't know because I have the complete pack, but
Right.
I imagine so because those are people, the ones that I used. So Chris, I know you have to head out. Good to see you. Catch you next time. Keep up the great work out there educating folks. See you next time, Chris. And Chris, if you have any ideas for next time, send me a message, please.
I will. Thank you very much. Thank you for all your help. Thank you. Bye-bye,
right.
everybody.
Ciao.
Good night.
Okay, and Ed says he downloaded the figures a few weeks ago, got the free bunch. They look great. Hey, awesome, Ed. I'm glad. And well, I feel like perhaps we can talk about how we can use graphics and visuals, and maybe everybody can come prepared next time with a design. Just one scene. Doesn't have to be too much, but if everybody could come next time with a scene ready, doesn't have to be CNVS.
Are you giving us homework? What?
I want us to go. Yes, I am. So it doesn't have to be Lucy's Canvas graphics. It can be any graphics that you use, or even even better if it's something that you've got coming up that you want to design graphics for, and then just the idea is you'll show us the end result, but then also show us in live demo mode the components of your scene, the contents of your overlay in the overlays panel, what's inside of that scene. So how does that sound? It would be a bit of a show and tell.
Ed is saying, and this is about graphics. They kind of stutter coming and going from screen here. The lag. If anyone's interested, sorry. Now I'm Tatiana. I'm kind of going off, but can I
It's okay.
mention this real quick? So
Yeah.
you guys have probably heard me talk about Office Hours, which is a
Yes.
show that I've been involved in. Well, so there's a new show there called After Hours. And yesterday I was working with someone who was frustrated with the quality, even a 1080p stream, the quality in Zoom versus YouTube. That the quality is just so much better when you just go to YouTube. And so I asked the question, why? Like, what could the difference be last night in Extra Hours? I got a really, really interesting question. Now I have to find it. I'll pop the link in here, but it may be. I'm going to find the exact link for that's probably like 20 minutes in, but there's a really interesting answer as to why we may get jitter and lag and stuff like that here in Zoom that we may not get when we're just streaming directly to YouTube. It's just really interesting. In any case, sorry about that.
Is this the question about? Daniel talked about that if you're on Zoom, that you get pixelation on your screen if you're streaming. And he had it also, and he did look at it, and he found out that if someone is with like a mobile phone.
Sorry,
Sorry?
that was me. Sorry.
Okay, this that someone is with maybe a mobile phone with a low quality, that Zoom will bring it back for everybody back to that low quality,
No,
Right.
and that's
so
built in Zoom.
well, not that's not entirely sure. So what happens is Zoom can.
Okay.
There are two HD feeds that Zoom could potentially send out. There's 720 and 1080. If you're on a pro plan, the max you can get is 720. Period. Full stop.
Yeah.
If you have a phone, if anybody joins your meeting from a phone, from or a browser or a tablet for that matter,
Tablet.
the max they can receive is 720. So if you're on a pro plan, that's not going to degrade your meeting at all. If you're on a business plan, like right now we're on a business plan, the meeting that we're in, which is sending 1080. If someone joins with a phone to a business meeting, then it'll drop everyone to 720 because it'll only send one of those HD feeds out. Now, having said that, the difference between 720 and 1080 is not, I mean, it's just not much to write home about. It's not a huge deal. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. So
Yeah, and
yes, it does
yeah,
degrade a little bit, but to the naked eye, it's not going to be.
No, but Daniel was even talking about 560, so it's downgrade to
no.
560.
Yes.
No,
Well-
Zoom won't. There are a million different factors, but Zoom is not the one degrading it to 560. There are a gazillion different factors. We could absolutely talk about this sometime. I can walk you all through all the different things that have to be in place in order to get the highest quality, but it's not that Zoom is lowering the quality. It's that there are a bunch of things that need to be in place. Sorry, Tatiana.
The other thing I want to say, no problem, is that having I wanted to let everybody know a couple of things. Remember back in some point I told you guys that my university has blocked Ecamm for Zoom. So my Zoom account through Rutgers University, I found a workaround, which was to open up the university Zoom meeting and then join that meeting from my personal account, which is connected to Ecamm for Zoom, which is no longer working. right? It worked all summer long. Then I had a session a week and a half ago, and access denied. I even got a message that said, Ecamm for Zoom cannot join this meeting because it is not accessible. Something wrong. And I was like, ah, crap. So I had to buy my own Zoom license, and I'm going to teach my university classes with my own Zoom license, not with my university one, so that I can prevent all those issues. So I just went through the whole process myself of making sure that I can get to 720p as a pro user. And that did require me sending a message to Zoom, which they contacted back. I had to confirm that I wanted it. Then they sent me a message back saying, it's done, please confirm. And I have to send a message back to them again. So just a little bit of a back and forth rather than just one straightforward request. But, you know, it's a pain in the butt, Rich. So yeah, we should have signed up and gotten like a group discount of some kind, but.
So I don't know if this is an advertisement or not welcome here, but Luria Petrucci has a thing called Zoom Club. And that's what I joined through. So she bought the great big thing, and then she charges you to get into it, and you get that quality, and it's been flawless for me.
Just be
you
careful.
Get 720p?
No, he gets 1080.
I get 1080.
But just be careful. It's technically, well, I mean, what she's doing is totally above board because she's a partner with Zoom.
Right.
Technically, it's not entirely legal to do that if you're not a partner with Zoom. So just be aware of that.
Rich,
Okay.
Zoom Enterprise that you have?
Yeah, it's actually Luria's.
No,
account.
it's a business plan.
Is it a business plan? Okay, I thought you went to enterprise. Okay.
I've been on Zoom Enterprise for about 3 years, and somebody bought up these licenses, and it gives you a lot, and you can record as much and save as much content as you want. So it's worked for me. Yeah.
Just curious, what kind of a price is it, guys? Like Sunny and Rich, what's the price tag on it?
I think I paid for every year $340, but that's just what I did. Yeah, it's under a Zoom queen, Marquesa Petway, and even Ecamm, the Ecamm Adrian Salisbury, he actually is under that. I saw that he joined it last year too.
Oh, okay.
It's the way to buy it, and you have a certain amount of privileges. I thought I was going to do all these webinars. Haven't done one. So really, I need to re-examine, but she charged me this year, and I didn't want to fight it.
Well, Sunny, you know that Zoom just announced yesterday that now they can host webinars with 1,000 presenters to 1 million people. So hold on to that license because, you know, your audience is growing. You can hit 1 million people now on a Zoom webinar.
Maybe I can partner with Daniel Chi or somebody one day. Okay.
Ed, I know you have to go, so see you next time. And then don't forget to connect with David Paskin for
He
your
already
audio
did.
stuff.
We're
too.
meeting tomorrow
fantastic.
at 1.
Looking
Okay,
forward
look at
to it.
that.
Yeah.
Nice. Getting things done.
Hey,
Awesome.
Tatiana, you want to show the stick figures real quick? Dr. Sunny was asking.
Yes, Sunny, let me grab that.
Awesome.
I need another screen.
By the way,
let's see.
I do have to kick everyone out of here in 10 minutes because I have another meeting. I forgot that I scheduled it in the same Zoom account. I apologize for that.
No problem. And let me see, Sunny. This was in my question. There's no way to search your scenes for words, right? There's no search feature in the scenes window.
Well, that's interesting. There isn't.
There isn't. I just
That's a good, but that's a great request.
for those of us who have way too many scenes.
Yeah. No, that's a fantastic request.
Sunny got it? Okay, good. I'm pretty sure these guys are in there, but
You showed this to us last time, right? Or 2 times ago? I love these guys.
I think I did, and I just took the people, and then you add whatever words you want on top for whatever purposes you have. But I'm actually I reached out to Lucy because I came up with a mascot. Oh, Marty, you said you have an animation that goes with your thing. I'd love to see it. I came up with a mascot for myself. I want to see if Lucy can make me a custom graphic to go with the flow of it all. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so is everybody good with us doing show and tell for scenes in one scene with our overlays for next time? think that would be pretty fun. And we get to see everybody's style and everybody have a little practice with it. Feel free to include audio as well, but that'll be great. Okay. So we've got a plan for next time.
You know what? Here's just a question for next time. Also, I'd love to hear what people think about this, because I'm pretty sure I'm doing it wrong. When I started using Ecamm, I put certain overlays and graphics in certain scenes, and now I have every single overlay in show and all scenes, and then they're all just attached to a Stream Deck key. Because what I was finding is that I would build a scene with certain overlays, but then in the moment, as I'm teaching, I would be wishing I had access to that other overlay, but it wasn't in this scene. It was in some other scene. So for me, I found that putting everything in this, just all in show and all scenes, made more sense. I'd love to hear how people structure that for themselves.
Okay. Yeah, so that will definitely be our conversation for next time. Scenes, overlays, how you organize, how you structure, what you put in them, why you do it. That'll be great.
Yeah,
I love that. I'm already excited.
Maybe another question in that I use at this moment a lot of keynotes, and I like to use them also with Ecamm. And I did see somewhere that I think maybe it's done with green screen, or that someone is just like in a room, and that behind him is the presentation, and when he moves, he can show, etc. And or just using I using a Wacom tablet that I can draw with it. I hear a lot about using iPads, but I have no iPad. I have a Wacom tablet, and can I use that also? How can that be done? How is that possible to make notes on the screen? Yeah, like that.
Yes. So I can show that this can be part of my concept for next month. But also, if you want to chat about it before that and you don't want to wait a whole month, Dick, just let me know and we'll set some time.
Right.
I will. Oh, why didn't that work? Darn. Let's see. I'm gonna grab a link to schedule some time with me, so that you can have it right here. And then this goes for anybody in here who would like to do that.
While you're doing that,
this in right now, and then you can just grab on my schedule.
and while you're doing that, you actually mentioned two things. The first is what Tatiana is showing here, which is the writing, which is awesome. The second thing is using Telestration, is using Keynote to kind of bring things in around you, right? So what I've got going on here is I've got Keynote on a separate computer with a green background, and so and then I key that out in Ecamm, and then I can bring in all this other stuff. So I can actually, when I'm doing a presentation, it's not me next to a slide presentation, it's me fully, and then the slide presentation kind of happening, around me, using Keynote which is fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. And I similar, Dick, when I first started with Ecamm, like I was very Keynote heavy. Little by little, I'm like, and I remember Doc saying to me, like, just do it in Ecamm. I'm like, I have tons and tons of assets already designed in Keynote. I can't just do it all over again. But, little by little to switch it up, I've got some classes that have no Keynote, and it's just switching it up. So in time, you'll find your groove and all of that. But yeah, there are a lot of great options that we can talk about for visual stuff next time. And I know we have to close out because, David, you have another meeting, but thank you so much. No, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Thank you so much, everybody, for your participation and your chat and your comments. We'll see you next month to talk about the visual stuff. Appreciate everybody sharing their opening activities today. So keep up with our content in the resources tab on our website and also on Discord, which we have our educators hashtag in there. So make sure that, Dick, are you in Discord yet?
No, not yet. So I make a note of it.
Okay. Anybody have the Ecamm Discord link?
I was
Discord,
just
Ecamm.
doing that. You know
And,
that
and you're using which kind of hashtag you're using?
It's educators hashtag. So when you go into the Discord thingamajiggy, and
I'm going to
you
send you
join,
an invite.
when you
Thank you.
join that, then look for the educators hashtag, and that's where we put all of our stuff. Is under the educators channel.
Okay.
All
I
right,
just threw that in the
everybody.
chat. Just threw the link in the chat for you. Hey, Tatiana, will you send me anything you want to throw up on the website, and I'll put it up for you? Or
Yes. Yep. I'll send
Awesome.
over the Miro stuff, and then if you can, because I'm not a co-host in the meeting, can you send me the AI companion so I can grab the notes from that? Because that only comes to the host.
oh yeah, of course. I'm sorry about that. Absolutely.
That's okay. It's all good.
That's
It's all good.
interesting. You can't access that. Only the host can access that.
Well, you would have had to set permissions for it, but by default, it's not turned on. So if you, depends on how you. But I've never had it. I've never gotten in our meetings before. So
Okay.
okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Ciao.
everyone. See you later.
Bye bye. Thanks.
See you next time.
Yeah.